N
A R
D
Nard Productions.
Hey, Mo.
Hey Davey, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Clara, let the boy do it himself.
Okay.
The Industrial Revolution began in 1760.
Boy, did you just say 1760?
I could have done very well if I had been without the Murdstones, but the influence of the Murdstones upon me was like the fascination of two snakes on a wretched young bird, explains David. This scene illustrates Dickens' satirical comment on the educational system. Mr. Murdstone makes David memorize nothing but facts, which is difficult for David because Mr. Murdstone causes distress on David's life. From this scene, we learn that love and support is essential to an ideal education. David's mom, Clara, was easily persuaded that her husband knew best. Lessons for David became a torment. David receives no support from Mr. Murdstone or anyone else and is unable to meet his high expectations.
If I go to a cheese shop and buy 500 pounds of Gouda at 4.5 pence per, how much will I pay?
I don't know, Mr. Murdstone, but please, pray, don't beat me. I can learn, but not with you and Miss Murdstone around.
Oh, really? You can't?
The lesson started badly and went on worse. David has been dealing with Mr. Murdstone's rigid structure for some time now. This serves as an opportunity for Mr. Murdstone to send David to a school in London known as Salem House. However, instead of focusing on the negative, going to the school, David focuses on the positive, which is going with Peggotty, his servant, to her house.
There he is. T. Copperfield? Esquire.
Yes, that's me. Agnes.
Wait, I'll need a response, but...
My dear Trotwood, I'm staying at the house of my papa's agent, Mr. Waterbrook, in Ellie Place, Holborn. Will you come and see me today at any time you'd like to appoint? Ever yours affectionately, Agnes.
There will always be a special place in David's heart for Agnes. She is David's true love and confidant, the angel on David's shoulder, the fire who will never go out. Thus, David makes haste to her side as he is happy that he will finally be reunited with his good angel.
Trotwood, sit down. Don't be unhappy. If you cannot definitely trust me, whom will you trust?
Oh, Agnes, my good angel. Oh, yes, Agnes, my good angel. Always my good angel.
If I were needed, Trotwood, there would be one thing I would set my heart on, very much, and it would be on warning against you on your bad angel.
My dear Agnes, you don't mean Steerforth?
I do, Trotwood.
David loves both of his friends, as a family even. However, Steerforth persuaded him to get drunk at the party the day before. David regrets this, which reveals his respectable character. David's background encourages him to trust anyone who is nice to him. He has good morals and is polite, but Steerforth brings out the worst in him, and Agnes brings out the best. Therefore, David has a choice to leave behind his reckless habits with Steerforth. Will he listen to his good angel or his bad angel?
Should I tell Dora? Could she love a beggar?
Hey, Dodie.
Hello, my love. Let me ask you a question.
Yes, go on. Go ahead.
Could you love a beggar?
A beggar? How could you ask such a foolish thing?
Dora, my dear, I am a beggar.
How could you be such a silly thing?
Dora cannot believe what David has just revealed to her because she is very needy for materialistic things as well as childish. She becomes hysterical, almost because she cannot deal with the fact that her and David will fall into poverty.
Is your heart still mine, Dora?
Oh yes, Davy, but don't be dreadful. Don't talk about working hard and being poor.
David goes on to describe how impractical and childlike Dora is, but he still loves her. He is happy that she will stay with him because she truly makes David happy. Dora may be blind by materialistic things, but David is a simple man and carries out a positive attitude throughout this financial crisis. In this scene, Dickens depicts the theme of social classes. Throughout his life, David has associated himself with well-off people, aside from the Micawbers. It's not until this scene that Davy truly experiences poverty firsthand.
You are so young to know so great a loss. I'm grieved to hear it. I hope time will be good to you.
I hope time will be good to all of us. Dear Mrs. Steerforth, we must all believe that in our darkest of moments.
Is my son ill?
Miss Dartle was telling me your son was sailing here and there, and the night before last was a dreadful one at sea. If he was sailing that night and near a dangerous coast.
Rosa, come to me.
Is your pride appeased now, you mad woman?
No.
Moan
No.
and groan
No.
and look at me. Do you see this? Do you remember when he, in his inheritance of your nature and in your pampering of his pride and passion, he did this and disfigured me for life? Look at me,
No.
marked until I die with his high displeasure. Moan and groan for what you made him.
Miss Dartle, for heaven's sake.
No, I will speak. Look at me, you proud mother of a proud false son. Moan for your loss of him. Moan for your corruption of him. Moan for your nurture of him. Moan for my loss of him.
Miss Dartle believes she loves James more, and Miss Steerforth has no right to mourn for James. Miss Dartle blames James Steerforth's actions on his upbringing. James always dragged down his friends when alive. Even near death, he took a companion with him. While James' family and David mourn for James, no one else noticed his death. In this scene, Dickens communicates his belief that mothers are essential in the development of the character of their children. Miss Dartle believes that Miss Steerforth did a poor job raising Steerforth. Steerforth is manipulative, condescending, which reflects his mother's upbringing. On the contrary, Miss Betsy, the aunt who raises David, clearly adores him and encourages him to be strong in everything he does, and to be fair at all times. This allows David to grow as a person with virtuous characteristics, unlike James Steerforth.